All right, Trump's tariffs are working and dozens of countries are running to the White House to negotiate, or we're running there. But where do we stand with China? Are we any closer to a deal with China?
How soon do you want to bring the tariffs on Chinese goods?
Well, that depends on them. If we don't have a deal with a company or a country, we're going to set the tariff. We just set the tariff. It's something that we think that will happen, I'd say, over the next couple of weeks. Wouldn't you say? I think so. Over the next 2-3 weeks. We'll be setting the number, and we're going to pick, could be for China too, could be for China. We're dealing with a lot of countries right now, and could be with China, but maybe we'll make a special, a deal, and we'll see what it will be.
So joining us right now is Kevin Hassett. He's in the center of all of this. He always is. The National Economic Council Director. Kevin, how close are we to even starting to talk to China again? I noticed the president's tone has been much more positive the last 48 hours.
Right. Well, the president will announce when talks happen, if they happen. But it's clear that the president and our team are open to talks. The Chinese have signaled that they're open to talks. In addition, the president has mentioned that American government officials and Chinese government officials are talking every day about many things, and often current events come up. And so I think that, exactly what happens next to the China thing, the president will decide, and he'll announce it to the world first. I can tell you that's the way it's going to go. But we're very optimistic about China, and especially optimistic about just about everybody else. We announced that we've got basically an outline of a deal with India. And that's especially interesting because if you think about the countries, we talked about non-tariff barriers and tariffs that are harming American workers. If you think about the countries that have really been about the worst offenders over time, India's right near the top of the list. And the fact that we've got a sketch of a fantastic deal already in place with India means that the president is showing leadership to the world. He took one of the hardest negotiations to have, and he's made it all the way to the point where there's kind of like a sketch of an agreement that's been agreed to, and that's a sign of the progress that we're making because of President Trump's leadership.
So Apollo Global Management, an investment firm, came out and said, be practical. The United States takes 18 months to negotiate the average trade deal and 45 months to implement. And does it also have to go to Congress?
No, these deals very, very much can be negotiated with the U.S. Trade Representative. I could tell you that Jameson Greer, I just got off the phone, Brian, to make sure that you had the latest information right before I got on the air. And he tells me that he's already scheduled 14 meetings this week with foreign trade ministers. And we have 18 written offers from foreign trade ministers already this week. And so the fact is that this could happen fast. It's not going to happen the way it does in previous administrations. It's going to happen in Trump time. And the fact that we've made so much progress is a reflection of the fact that Jameson Greer and Howard Lutnick and the top trade team, including Peter Navarro, have been working on these deals really since the 20th of January. And so we've got a lot of progress to report. And it's not rushed deals. It's carefully thought out deals in anticipation of the actions that the president took.
I want you to hear what Chuck Chad said. He used to be a full-time employee of NBC.
Sure.
And made the press. Here's what he said about Trump and trade.
This is how you can actually move Donald Trump, right? Everybody's trying to figure out how do you convince him. He understands visuals, and he does get that. And so, here's the real trap he's in. If he's afraid of empty shelves, he's not going to be able to stand his ground and wait for China to come to the table.
Yeah.
Right? So he's in this box where he does have to negotiate with himself because he's worried about the short-term pain, the short-term visual. So is he worried about empty shelves? Has he put himself into a corner?
No, absolutely not. We've got virtually every country on earth negotiating with us right now. We've got the Chinese open to talks already. The president has moved the world in a way that is unprecedented, and it's in the direction of the American worker.
All right. Kevin Hassett, I know you have your hands full. I think you could do some hiring and do like Doge did and expand all those trade deals and get them all done. Thanks so much, Kevin Hassett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.